Welcome to Taiwan Insider. I am Natalie Tso, and I am here with Belize Ambassador Dr. Candace Pitts. We are here at the National Central Library, and there's an exciting exhibition on all this month. It is sponsored by the Embassy of Belize, and they are honoring women. Today we're going to take a look at that and also talk to Ambassador Pitts about her career. So it's great to be able to speak with you and to visit this wonderful exhibit you have.
Thank you so very much, first of all, for agreeing to meet with me and agreeing to come and view our exhibition that is particularly for the celebration of Culture and Women's Month.
Well, it's great to be able to honor women today, especially female ambassadors. And let's take a look at these beautiful sculptures.
Yes.
So tell us about this one.
This is Mother and Child. It is inspired by, I believe it's Miss Zaya, who is a Belizean woman very much involved in the arts in Belize. And
you can see the intimacy between mother and child here,
yes,
right?
mother and child, which is a concept that is so natural to us, as women. This one, this is so detailed to me, and
Ooh.
It's Mother of Creation, and the author is Curl Gordon, and the inspiration behind Mother of Creation is Rebecca Stern. She is the inspiration behind Mother of Creation, and she's also an artist in Belize.
A pregnant mom.
Yes,
right?
very pregnant, very pregnant. So as I've said, these are all to celebrate womanhood and our various splendid characteristics and qualities that we are gifted with as women.
Right.
Yeah.
Giving birth is definitely
Yes.
one of them.
And it's interesting because I have heard some men who are arguing that in our celebration and acknowledgement of Women's Day and Women's Month, we have been concentrating on the accomplishments of women outside the home and not the accomplishments of women inside the home. And so they're of the view that for whatever reason they feel as though motherhood comes under attack. And I think it's quite the contrary. If you understand the history of Women's Month and of International Women's Day, they complement those movements that came before, such as the International Women's Movement and the Global Feminist Movements, and all of these cultural and social campaigns for the rights of women that were to advocate for a recognition of women, not just as those who are confined to the home space. It's not an attack on motherhood or a devaluation of motherhood. It's actually an advocacy that women can be mothers, and they can also be much more than mothers, And so these movements are to celebrate the accomplishments and the strides that women have been making for generations, So what I would say to those men is that no, we celebrate motherhood, obviously. It is so natural to us to be mothers. But women have also been struggling for acknowledgement in whatever areas, in whatever fields they choose to exist, to manifest themselves. And as you can see, at least half of these pieces celebrate giving birth.
That's right. I think that, it's good to have a balance to be able to celebrate what women do
Right.
outside of the home
Right.
and then inside of the home, because they're all so valuable to our society,
Right.
to our families, and to our personal well-being as
Right.
well.
In all our various shapes and forms and manifestations.
So,
Flight here, the artist is Anthony Vacario, and the inspiration for Flight is Beverly Lopez, and she was also one of the pioneers in the arts in Belize.
I really like this because it has this kind of graceful but very
Yes.
strong, dynamic
Yes, yes, yes.
movement,
Yes,
sense of movement and motion about it.
Yes.
Is she dancing or?
Yeah, she's dancing.
Oh, she's
She's
dancing.
dancing. She's dancing.
looks
So she was a
beautiful.
dancer, a comedian, an
Comedian?
actress. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
You mean the person that?
The person that inspired the piece.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, she looks so confident and
Yes,
free, right?
yes, yes.
And that's what we want women to be
Right.
as well.
Traditional Mayan table runners, and this is the artist, Miss Martina Pop, and as she had explained, that the art of producing Mayan table runner has been generational, passed down from one generation to the other. Her mother taught her, and it takes approximately 2 days to complete one table runner.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. So Ambassador Candace Pitts, it's wonderful that you're here in Taiwan. Is this your first assignment as ambassador?
Yes, it is, and this month makes it exactly 2 years.
Really?
Since I was assigned as the ambassador of Belize to Taiwan.
So how has it been here in Taiwan for you?
It has been a wonderful, a great experience, and I believe that the wonderful people that I have met thus far, I find Taiwanese to be very helpful, very kind, very polite, and they have helped to make my transition to Taiwan a lot smoother.
That's wonderful. So what inspired you to get into diplomacy?
I want to say that diplomacy actually chose me, but in the final analysis, I would say that it's a suitable calling, so to speak. I am very honored and grateful for this opportunity to represent my country at the highest level, and so it is not an assignment that I take lightly, absolutely not. And so I comport myself in such a way, and I represent my country in such a way so that others can afford my country the level of respect and dignity that we deserve.
So what is I know before this you were a city council person, is that correct?
Yes.
So what is
Yes.
the biggest transition for you in going from a local politician, representing the people locally, and then now representing your whole country?
Yes. Well, I want to think that my career path has been consistent. At first, I started as an educator. I received training to teach at the college level, which I did both in the United States and in Belize. And then I also wanted to help represent my communities, help to represent my people in local government. And so I was elected as a councilwoman, and I served my office with competence. And then my prime minister requested that I now represent my country, my entire country, internationally, and certainly I accepted. And as I've mentioned, it is such an honor to be representing my country here in Taiwan.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm curious what you think as a woman. What are some of the characteristics, the strengths that a woman can bring to the job of ambassador?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, and I am very mindful not to
Stereotype. We don't want to stereotype, right?
right?
But-
Yes, to reify or perpetuate stereotypes. But I want to say, in answering that question, I don't think that I'm entirely bought on the whole notion that men and women lead differently. But I do think that representation matters because you tend to model what you can see. So it is important for a woman or for women to be assuming these offices, of being ambassadors, of being politicians, of being, assuming these various offices so that other young girls, other young women can see not just men in these positions, but they can see women they can aspire to be one day. And so it is important that we are here representing and we are here demonstrating that a woman can assume these roles competently, that we can be effective, that we can be efficient, that we can be successful in any role that we assume, particularly if the role has been previously dominated by men.
So how is it in Belize? Is the political world dominated by men, or are there a lot of women in various roles?
Well, in electoral politics, men still continue to predominate, as in many parts of the world. But there has been increasing appointments of women in higher offices as well. But where politics, where parliament is concerned, currently we only have, out of 31 representatives in parliament, we only have 3 women.
Oh, wow.
1 for the opposition and 2 for the government.
Oh, wow.
Right? So, yes,
we have a ways to go.
Yes, we have a long way to go, actually. We have a long way to go, and of course, it's very problematic when indeed more than 50% of the entire population is women, and you have them underrepresented in the highest offices in the country. I don't believe that men can adequately address the needs of women. And so, of course, we continue to advocate, we continue to struggle, to fight for women to be equally represented, or fairly represented in our governance, which is why I think the theme of embracing equity is very important.
It is. Well, you're a wonderful, inspiring example of a woman who's succeeded, in education, in electoral politics, now as an ambassador. Can you share some of your own insights into succeeding in these roles?
Yes.
What has helped you?
Well, certainly. It is not as easy as I probably have been presenting it. Of course, there was a lot of struggles, a lot of hurdles that I had to jump over, a lot of obstacles that I had to overcome, starting with me pursuing and attaining a PhD. 1, it's very costly. 2, it required many sacrifices. And certainly when I transitioned to politics, it did not get easier. In fact, I want to think that all of the problems and the struggles that I was facing as a graduate student was, all of them were compounded when I entered electoral politics, because politics, I realize, has been designed in such a way to discourage women, really, from participating.
What would you say? Why would you say that?
Well, I'm not sure if you have heard, if this statement has been made here in Taiwan, but certainly in Belize, and I've heard it in the United States, that politics is a dirty game. And you have to have stamina, you have to have a very thick skin, and you have to prepare yourself emotionally and mentally, because people can get dirty. And even if you have no secrets or skeletons, as people would, some people would term it, your opponent can very well fabricate a lot of stuff that may be demoralizing, that may be humiliating. And so not a lot of women are prepared to endure those kinds of scourge, if you will. And so that was something I had to prepare for mentally and emotionally, and even my family. When I mentioned to them that I was considering, they said, "Are you sure?" Because it's not just you who would be in the spotlight, it's your entire family, the people connected to you.
Well, you've come a long way in a male-dominated profession. Can you tell me where you get your sense of confidence to overcome all the struggles and obstacles in your way?
I was raised by a very strong woman. For a very long time, my mother was a single mother. She's married now, happily married now. But she was a single mother for a very long time, and I had watched her sacrifice to raise us. She had to juggle jobs as well as being a mother, and she never quit anything that she started, and she always encouraged us to succeed in whatever dream that we may choose for ourselves. And so in my own personal life, I don't subscribe to defeatism or to just giving up. I learned very early on as well that I have to believe in myself first before anyone else can believe in me. And anything that I aspire to do, I ensure that I give it my utmost best, so I don't half step in anything that I choose to do. And I just know that I want to leave a mark, a good mark in this life for however long I will be on this earth. And, every morning I ask God for three things. Well, I have a three-part prayer, I should say, every morning. And it is to reach the highest expression of myself. It is to make my contribution to humanity. And it's to live my life pleasing to God. And so every morning I pray those and I keep going.
That is absolutely beautiful. No wonder you're such an inspiring ambassador.
Thank you.
A representative for your country. Tell us about Taiwan-Belize ties. I know they started official diplomatic relations in 1989.
Yes.
What are the main ways that we're cooperating? What kind of products are we trading with each other? Tell us about some of the interesting things going on between Belize and Taiwan.
Okay. As I've mentioned, Belize and Taiwan are durable diplomatic friends since 1989, and some of the values that bind us as friends are our championing of freedom and democracy, the rule of law, human rights, and our relationship is not based on coercion and control, but more on mutual respect and cooperation. And we have been cooperating in areas such as education. We have at least 200 or more Belizean students here studying in Taiwan. And we also have an exchange of students, a fewer number of Taiwanese in Belize. We have also been cooperating in areas of infrastructural development and human development. Just recently, a few weeks ago, Taiwan hosted the Latin America and Caribbean Women Empowerment Forum. It's based on the initiatives that President Tsai Ing-wen has been passionate towards helping to develop and empower women in our countries, Belize being one of them. Belize and Taiwan effectuated the Economic Cooperation Agreement. And what that does is it reduces tariffs on products that are exportable from Belize to Taiwan and from Taiwan to Belize. And some of the products that we export to Taiwan are marine products, primarily lobster, shrimp, and fishes. We also have meat to export, sugar to export, rum and other condiments such as our hot sauces. And Taiwan exports bicycles, ceiling fans, and other electronic devices to Belize.
Sounds like we have a great relationship. Is that right?
Yes, and we will continue to work to strengthen that relationship. And one of the areas that I think that we definitely need to strengthen and to expand would be trade and investment. We already discern that Taiwan is one of our most durable diplomatic partners, and we also want Taiwan to become one of our primary trading partners.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
Well, Taiwan, I think you know, has a lot of challenges diplomatically.
Yeah.
We only have 14 official diplomatic allies. So why did Belize choose Taiwan to be its official diplomatic ally over China?
Well, as I've mentioned, what works between Belize and Taiwan is that our relationship is not based on coercion and control. It's based on mutual respect, on understanding and cooperation, because we want to be received as the free and independent people that we are. And we know how much we had to struggle to attain our independence. We attained independence from Great Britain in 1981, and we had to struggle to attain our independence, and we still have to struggle to maintain that independence. And so we know the cost of it, and which is why we support Taiwan in its fight for democracy and for independence, because we know what it means to us.
Well, it's been a joy talking with you and very inspiring. And thank you for the friendship that you're offering Taiwan. I've been speaking with Belize Ambassador Dr. Candace Pitts. She's a wonderful ambassador for her country, and it's been very inspiring to hear about her story and her words for women. And we have a wonderful exhibit here at the National Central Library all of this month in celebration of women. So let's celebrate women every day of our lives, and of course all the people in our lives. Thank you so much for tuning in to this edition of Taiwan Insider. I'm Natalie Tso.